Welcome back to Evermoor. I'm working on a completely new project in this episode that I've been working on for at least a month. I don't know how many weeks it's taken. I really wasn't expecting it to take that long, but really time just flies away from me and I don't know where it goes. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but apparently it has. This project was initiated in part by Time Architect because he built this lovely floating island that you see me starting on right here with this giant cherry blossom. And I think it's still in progress. I don't think it's quite completed yet. But this is the start of a collaboration among the members to build a series of floating islands next to each other, and that cherry tree island will be the center island. I'll have to come back in a future episode when the rest of the islands are done so we can tour them, but for now, it's just going to be my island, my time lapse for this episode. And maybe a little target practice along the way. I did put a good bit of time into designing this island in creative before jumping in survival, but I just designed the main island and main structure mostly. A lot of the details I designed in survival. With that being said, I tried my best to make it a simple design. That's what I told myself. I'm just going to do something simple. Just an island with a little ruined castle on it, that's all. And wouldn't you know it, it's taken me many, many hours to design this. Of course it has. It's me building this. But still, for what it is, I do like how this design turned out. Even if it wasn't really something I was interested in building at the time, it really wasn't something I was dying to build. It was more or less the first idea that popped in my head, and I ran with it. And it did turn out very nice, I think. After I finished building the structure, the rest of the trees and landscaping was all designed in survival. And the biggest thing I was thinking about when building them is composition. How is it going to look from the main island? How is it going to look from a distance? How is it going to look up close? Will I be able to see the tree towering above it? There are so many different perspectives from where this build is viewed, so I took all of those into account when figuring out the height for each tree. And I did add smaller landscaping details too, smaller trees, bunch of flowers, bushes, things like that, and we'll go look at those and the finished build now that this time lapse is concluded. That is an awful lot of glass. Can't imagine how long it took him to collect all of that. But no, we want to look at this completed island. I added a few extra details outside of the time lapse, but I really just want to go walk up to it and talk you through it. It does look really nice from back here. It's very simple, but I like it. Also, it looks like the sun might be setting soon. We may have to sleep here in a moment. But I did make this so that you can easily walk up to it. You don't have to fly if you don't want to, although flight is also an option. And the glow icon worked really well to spawn-proof these without creating an eyesore on these. I didn't want to bury lights, I didn't want to use carpet, but the glow icon adds a nice color and texture to it, and it's just a good natural way to spawn-proof them. And once we get on the island though, I do have hidden lights under the moss carpet. And as we approach up here, there's nothing on the inside, but let's look at the outside first. We got a pond, a very simple pond. I just bone mealed inside of it, added a few lily pads, which, funny enough, with this shader, they look like they're floating. Very strange. Complementary needs to fix that, although I am using an old version. Who's to say that it's not fixed in a newer version, and I'm just not aware. And this is my absolute favorite detail on this whole island is these cattails. Even though some of them are not connected perfectly with the bamboo, it doesn't really matter because when you look at them from a distance, it almost looks like they're bending or angled slightly. I think they're really cute, and it does add a nice extra detail and plant around this pond. And then of course I've got some berry bushes on the side just for extra color. Going around here, I do have, what are these called again? Whatever they're called. Yeah, the flowering azalea. I've got some of those buried in the ground for some pink ground cover. I would love to add the little pink flowers when the next version comes out to add even more low flowers. I've got flower patches though throughout the island. And there's nothing around the back except a few trees. This is the largest tree of all of them. I don't know exactly how tall it is. It doesn't look like much from back here. It is kind of neat that this doubles as framing that tree. That was totally not planned, but there are a few spots on this island where you can see that island being framed, and it just worked out that way. Worked out very nicely. I've got a little patch of dandelions on this side. And now that the sun is setting, I'm gonna sleep real quick. If you didn't notice, as we were walking up, one detail I added was these birds in the sky, which are actually just made out of quartz stairs and slabs. So don't get too close, because then they won't look like birds. But looking at them from a distance, you can't really tell, and they look mostly like they're supposed to when you're viewing them from the opposite end. Inside these buildings, it's just a bunch of staircases. That's pretty much all there is room for. I haven't thought through decorating or anything, but it is supposed to be a ruined castle, so I doubt there would be anything remaining. I do have broken parts right here. This is the other part where you can really see the tree being framed in the broken down part of the tower. I just thought that was really cool. Again, not planned at all, it just worked out that way. And I think I passed it, but there is the other section where you can go to the side tower over here. And here we can see exactly how tall these trees are. This one does go taller than the tower, or almost the same height as it, I forget. And then we've got our little flag, and there's the birds again. So there's not much to it in terms of things to look at. It's just got a lot of texture in the walls and in the structure itself, and has a very overgrown feel. This is my idea of doing a very simple island that is in ruins. It still took me a long time to design and build, but I really like how it turned out. I'm going to fly over here and look at it again. This time I'll land on top of the tree. And here it is from the sky. You can see the birds much more clearly. I was wondering if I should add more, but I think that's good. I can't wait to see what everyone else has in store for their islands. It'll be really nice when we've got more of these to explore, and I'll have to make another video when those ones get built. But for now, I'm just going to admire these two islands together. And here is one of my lays that was helping me collect blocks as I was building the trees, but I just tied him up here because when I fly around, they can get lost. I already lost one of them. I don't know what happened to him. I think he wandered away. So that's why that lay is there. He was helping me build. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. As I said, I think it could just use a little more color and some life. I do like how these look on the ground as small pink flowers, but adding more flowers in the future would be nice. The other thing that I considered is possibly putting fish in the pond. I just don't know how that would work with the waterfalls all around. I don't know how to block it off so that they don't fall down the waterfall, unless I put some kind of glass or something along there. The only problem is then it's going to poke out along the surface of the pond, so I don't really know if it's worth it for that. I'll just keep an empty, boring pond. I was also considering maybe dropping in some type of animal up here, or mobs. But again, I don't know if the waterfalls would be an issue for that. I don't know if the mobs would find their way down that waterfall, even if it's something like a pillager. I had the idea of bringing pillagers here, but again, I don't know if I can trust them not to go down the waterfall because they will wander into water randomly, so I don't know. At the same time, it is kind of nice that it's abandoned and empty. It just feels kind of dead. If you have any ideas of what I could try bringing here on the island that would not potentially fall off of the island, maybe bunnies? I haven't done anything with bunnies, but those would be really cute hopping around on this island. Yeah, if you have any ideas, just let me know and I will think about it. Now that that project is out of the way, that was a good month-long distraction from the Axolotl Kingdom, which is where we've been working on and off. We just keep getting distracted from it and having these offshoot videos. But I do want to go talk through some plans that I have upcoming for the next episode. This place really is filling out nicely, but so far the biggest space that we have to work on is this whole side. Maybe if I go above the surface you can see a little better. This whole side of the central building is completely empty, so that's going to be my focus in the near future. In the next episode, I do plan on starting an area over here. I don't know which one yet, but I do have a couple of areas in mind. I just have to figure out which one I'm going to do first. But that will be in the next episode. I have a lot of digging to do, all the usual things, some experimentation. I've moved all of my storage over here in preparation for it. Actually, my next project will most likely involve Froglights, which I have not set up any kind of farm for those, and I need to because that would be a lot easier than trying to get them without the farm. I do have the frogs, I just need the Froglights. So let me go set up that real quick so that I don't have to worry about that, now that it's on my mind. Well, that took about an hour of my time. Actually, it took longer because I started to build it in the wrong spot and then had to rebuild it, but about an hour total to build the entire farm. And I've been AFKing here for a little over an hour. I don't really know exactly how long I was here, but let's go down and see how many this is yielding so far. I did put 9 frogs in there, 3 of each color. So let's see how many we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I am never going to use all of this. I would say that yes, definitely this farm definitely works. Honestly, 1 stack of each is probably all I need for my next project, but now I've got Froglights. Yay! I'm definitely going to make use of those in the next episode, but it's nice to have this done in advance. Well, I think that wraps it up for this episode. It was rather short, although I have been doing a lot of work, as you have seen. I've built this entire island, which took me several weeks to do. I built a Froglight farm, which took me only an hour. Lots of progress on lots of different things. I'm looking forward to the next episode and working more in the Axolotl Kingdom, but I'm not going to ramble about that now. I hope to see you then in the next episode, whenever that may be. Have a good day or night. Bye!